I want to dig in a little bit to what I'm sure are incredible difficulties in teaching the children there. There's attempts to give them a childhood as well as an education. You've said, for example, that family time is essential for a child's development, but often the refugee children have been separated from their parents. And the other thing is that you said that the philosophy is to empower the children to create their own lives. How difficult is that within a refugee center?
It is extremely difficult. It is, even for me, it is not a strange issue. I mean, when I'm in Taichung, what I'm doing right now, we do have a lot of indigenous family, broken families, okay, even orphanage, okay. So they are in a certain stand. Of course, they do not have a situation like Syria, okay, or any other or the refugee camp. They are also threatened by the war. They were threatened by the safeties of themselves. But the idea is the same. It is much harder to bring a kid when in a critical time they grow up, and without being able to help by the experienced parents or teachers or any social workers. So this is the first thing. The utmost important thing is to have the young people, the social workers have to be trained properly. I remember there was a story. I mean, during the Cold War, when United Russian breaks out. At that time, there's a lot of orphanage because the financial situation was pretty bad. They have a lot of orphanage, and Stanford have sent a professor over there, a team, to make a study. They went to two identical orphanage, and then in one orphanage they find every orphanage everybody is busy in feeding the babies, and also change their diapers and all this. They are so busy with only just the day-to-day needs for the kids. But then they trying to make a experiment. They go to another orphanage. They ask them to do the same process as they use, serve them as the same food as they feed, but the only difference is you start to talk to the kids through your eyes, through your voice, and have some contact with the kids. Because the other orphanage, when people is all busy in feeding them, without having time with eye contact, with some communication with them, they say within probably 9 months they can already see the changes. They can see the kids who have more interactions with the adults. They're growing even faster. Their facial expression is even much better. The brain is moving much more.
More agile, more quickly.
Exactly, yeah.
Some Taiwanese would question why there is a significant amount of taxpayers' money going towards this project.
I don't quite agree with it. Okay, in one way, yes, it is the government, but if you look at the other side, we do have a lot of non-profit organizations, such as some like a Chiu, okay, who is actually one of Red Cross around the globe. They are everywhere. They are in Africa. They are in many other places which is needed. Wherever is needed, they are there. So I think those powers is coming from private sectors, but it has shown a tremendous care and the representation of Taiwan. It doesn't have to be anything involved with the politics. So this is what I believe it's the right track. Compassion should have no boundaries. I mean, you have to be able to see beyond your own territories. So the whole global issues does concern everybody. A lot of non-political issues that Taiwan can still participate. So being able to have somebody like a Joe who is doing the right things, certainly it is very encouraging to help. Yeah.
Moving to architect Joe, what was it like to work with him? Was it inspirational?
Oh, he is Of course, he's very passionately with his work. But sometimes when you're doing this kind of activity, you cannot just use your passion. You have to clearly see how you can manage the situation. So I am trying to helping him with few more steps ahead. How can he face the different situations, and how also he can understand what is the limit. I think what the Taiwan Center can do is we cannot help to solve all the problems in the world, not even the Taiwan Centers, but we can set a good examples. And this combo hopefully can be repeated by other people. Once you set a good example, as I was doing in Taitung.
So do you mean a blueprint, maybe for
Exactly. So other people can follow. And for example, in Taitung, I have schools and doing art center and all that other activity. All my hope is not trying to change the entire country. All I want to do is set a good example. But Minister Fuller once said, if you want to change something, never challenge the existing reality. To change something, you just have to build a new model to make the existing model obsolete. In other words, once you set a good example, and people can see it, and then gradually other people will be able to follow you. Yeah.
Very interesting. So there is the physical building, which architect Joe largely looks after, and then your component, we could say, is the content, is the philosophy, as well as architects as well.
Right.
Where do you see a fusion between the building and your philosophy? Are there any aspects of the building itself or the site itself that really speak to you, that resonate?
I think it is a good idea as an architect who can come up with a creative concept without spend too much money and use the cement boundaries or whatever, and to build the buildings, and they even have done. I think when you are not totally completed, actually you leave some room for the refugees themselves to help themselves. And you cannot just let them put their hand up all the time waiting for somebody to help you. You have to try to put your hand up, down, and able to also engage with the project.
So become stakeholders.
Exactly, yes. Yeah.
Do you believe that Taiwanese should learn about this project, and that it is a project that Taiwanese can be proud of?
I definitely think so. I also have another opinion, which sometimes may not agreeable by total all the major society. I believe is whatever we're doing you are facing a human to another human beings. Sometimes we can do away with your name of your countries. Sometimes you can do away with the logo of your organizations. In another word, you just purely showing your compassion to other peoples. So this is probably a heart-to-heart kind of activities or movement sometimes probably will touch other people's heart even deeply. And that is what I believe Taiwan should do. Okay, with the difficult situation we have, we should have this kind of preparation, whether it's our friends, our enemies, or whoever they are, as long as we can showing our good willingness, I think one day, hopefully, the world will change. Yeah, of course.
President Yin, thank you so much for joining Taiwan Talks today.
You're welcome. Thank you.